To top of the morning to your waddlers, would you take a look at the calendar? It is indeed that time of the week again, and it is indeed still me, your boy. Oh, what's up with the skin? Yeah, you know, don't worry about it. I'm calm. Unfortunately for us today, the fireflies are still not flying. However, the sun, it's absolutely beaming in the air. It's crisp and cool. It's Snapshot Day, 22w18a. So look, at this point, according to the sign, the fate of the villager is entirely in your hands. Like and sub or the villager gets it. After you've done that, the fate of the villager moves over to the developers. I see. So, in this week's snapshot, we're looking at allay changes that sound amazing, warden sonic boom change, some center changes, an interesting instrument hint, maybe, and a new command. This week, this time around, we will start reverse alphabetically with the allay. The allay changes in this week's snapshot. So, the allay. In previous snapshots, if the allay could not see me, it would not try and follow me. I guess it would try and, stand still. Well, now that's been changed. Even if the allay cannot see the owner of the allay, or whatever you want to call it, the allay will try and follow the owner, which is, I guess that's great. That's perfect. So how it works, the allay will now only lose track of the owner if the allay is more than 64 blocks away. And also, look at how quick this thing is. It not only follows me, but it urgently follows me. It knows I'm great, which is absolutely amazing. It's just so cool. I love these allays, really excited for them. Since this edition, I've been seeing a lot of big questions about the allay. One quick question that I figured I'd answer in today's video. The allay, can it go through blocks? Well, apparently, if it's quick, yes. Okay, but more technically speaking, I've trapped an allay inside of that container, fully trapped in. It's mine. Will it be able to go through the blocks once I move away? No. The allay cannot go through blocks. Next up, let's go ahead and move on to the iron golem. But actually, it's not really the iron golem, it's the warden. We have a warden change in this week's snapshot. So, unfortunately for the iron golem here, iron golem is making way too much noise, and the warden is getting angry. In reality, this is a terrible situation because, you see, eventually the warden's going to get frustrated and do the whole sonic boom thing, especially if the iron golem keeps it up with the whole noise making. That's not good. The change here this week isn't the sonic boom or the mechanics behind it, it's the particles or the texture of this sonic boom attack. So check this out, the new texture is absolutely amazing. I like the old texture, there was nothing wrong with it, but this new one, it just fits so much better. Any second here, any second. Yikes, that is one noisy iron golem. That's not good news for the iron golem, right? Yes, exactly right. Look at that new particle, the new animation. Oh, it's so much more clean. That's awesome looking. It's so good looking. It just looks so cool. The only complaint, if you will, that I have about this thing is it kind of, it's more visible, where it's ending now because of the particles or texture or whatever. I don't know, but it's absolutely amazing. Right now, in the game, 21w18a, I believe there are 3 vibration listeners total. We have the Skulk Sensor that listens to, essentially everything. We have the Shrieker that listens to some things, if you jump on top of it, that's not good. And then, of course, we have the moving, the rotating, big bad warden, also a vibration listener. In this week's snapshot, we have some changes to how the vibrations will be listened to. Vibration listeners, like these 3 things right here, will now listen to the vibrations that are happening closest to it, instead of the first one that they hear after the cooldown. So I think we could simulate this one with the allay right there. The allay is making noise, but I'm a little bit closer to the sensor, so I think it's going to want to listen to me instead of the allay. Yep, definitely listening to me and then telling on me to the Shrieker. I think that's a showcase. We'll go with it. Alright, now sliding over to the changelog for the first time today, 22w18a, it would appear that those are all of the non-technical changes here this week. That means the snapshot is actually microscopic in size, which is great news for the release of 1.19. However, there is a little bit more inside of the snapshot, technical things that today we're actually going to talk about. For this next bit, we will need big open land, also land that I don't really care about, so this piece of land right here, this is perfect. We have a command, and we don't have a command. The place feature command has officially been removed in this week's snapshot. However, it also kind of hasn't because it's still here. It's just become the place command. Check this out. The place command is even better than the place feature command. So the place feature command, if you're familiar with it, basically you can place a feature if conditions are met correctly. So Acacia doesn't really work, but that's good. I didn't want it to work anyways. Desert well, it doesn't also work. hold on. If you're familiar with the command, then you know that sometimes there are certain conditions that need to be met. I think desert well is sand. So yep, there we go. We have sand and now we have a desert well. That's kind of cool. So that's wonderful, but it's also like basically the same. That's the same old place feature command essentially. It's just a little bit different. Like you type it differently. There is more inside of the place command that makes it even better. So next up we have jigsaw. Check this out. If we look through jigsaw, oh man, if you're into city and like individual pieces of the cities or the structures or whatever, this is it. This is it right here. You can go ahead and do place, jigsaw, then something. Then there's a few more specifications that I would need to make sometimes, like in that case. But the big thing here is we have a command that can help you maybe more easily place structures into the game if you're trying to check them out. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool, sure, but even more cool. Check this thing out. Place structure, and then we'll just go ahead and go with igloo. That's what I just did. Igloo right over there. We can place the structures in with a command now. Now you kind of already know what I have to do. I'm like literally obsessed with these things. Place structure, Minecraft Ancient City. Will this ruin the 1.19 Snapshot world? That ain't too bad. It's slight letdown, unless it placed it all the way down there. I don't think it should have. Oh, it did it down there. It did it down there. It works. It put the ancient city in at the bottom of the world. Look at this thing. We can't look at it on the surface, but look at this thing inside of the cave. Absolutely. The geode, the poor geode, has been absolutely ruined. The city was not here before. Oh, the command works. Like, honestly, this is kind of a niche command. In survival, you're not going to be using this thing unless you're cheating, but it's so cool. So here's an igloo I dropped in earlier. Right below the igloo, we have, like, the secret room and everything. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I have to try out another structure. You know what I'm going with next. The big, the strong, the lovely, the mansion. The mansion. What happens if I put a mansion in the middle of the air? Oh, I'm inside of the mansion. Just like that, I'm inside of the mansion, and it's actually, I underestimated this thing. It's inside of the ocean. Look at that. A command to put the structures in. You can check them out anywhere in your world. Maybe this is useful in like a data pack or something. Oh man, this is wonderful. This is so cool. I love this command. It's my favorite. So this is really sweet. This is awesome. And for like experimenting with things, like maybe you're trying to test out like the allay and how common it is or something like this, place a couple woodland mansions in, check out the rooms, and find out that there are tons of allay inside of the woodland mansion. It's kind of insane. That's the new command. That's amazing. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know if you'd like to see more with this command down in the comments below. This is exciting. Hopping back over to the changelog here, so a couple more technical things in here. Check them out if you want, but one that I'd like to focus on is this one right here. Removed loot table function, set goat horn sound. Added loot table function, set instrument. Instrument. If we look through the creative inventory here, is there a new instrument or something added? No. Goat horn, the goat horns are still the same as last time. It's pretty cool. Set instrument instead of goat horn. That's a very interesting change. What could this mean? I mean, look, I hate to do it to you here, but these snapshot videos, they're kind of more about the facts and not really the theories, but does this mean more instruments could be coming to the game in the future? I think this is potentially really good news for that. But I also think that's a theory, and that's not for today. A little bit more on that interesting instrument thing. Here we have the new function, set instrument, and then a little bit more information on it. Doesn't really clear anything up, but it's interesting. It's an interesting change, though, definitely. What do you make of this change? Do you think it means anything? And if it does this mean, finally, at long last, Minecraft Banjo makes it into the game officially? I hope. That would be a whole cinematic experience. Also, speaking of interesting here, more chat changes in the snapshot. It really makes me wonder what the developers are chatting. Most likely King B-Dogs. Like, what is King B-Dogs chatting? Where we need, like, some suspicious, like, chat-type registry stuff? I mean, I don't know. And so to wrap things up nice and cleanly for today, we're looking at fixed bugs in 22w18a. So bug fixes. There's quite a few bug fixes here in the snapshot. Looks like a significant amount of these bug fixes have to do with the warden and then other wild update stuff. Bug fixes, like I always say, they're a good thing. I think I usually say that, right? Well, anyways, you've reached the end of the video, so just in case you haven't made your decision yet, I'd like to remind you about the whole villager situation going on. Go ahead and make your call. It's really quick and really easy. Completely painless for you. Toss the ball into the other court. And thank you all for watching the Snapshot Showcases. I appreciate you all. It's been me, your boy. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.